Identify important information, okay? And I'm not going to tell you like specifically how you have to do that, but I would suggest circling and underlining some things that are pertinent to setting up the problem, okay? I would suggest drawing attention to them somehow, okay? Please be sure you define your variables. If you're using X and Y, you need to tell me what X and Y stand for, okay? First of all, so I can follow your work, but second of all, when you get to the answer, you need to know how to write your answer. It's not just the coordinate 2, 3. 2 is representing something, 3 is representing something. So if you tell me what X and Y stand for, you're able to give me the answer because you've written down what they mean. Okay? Also, some people may define X and Y differently. Okay? The way you do it may be different than the way someone else does it. Okay? Once you define your variables, you're going to write down the equations. Okay? 2x plus 3y equals 5, or whatever it may be. If there's 2 variables, more than likely you're going to have 2 equations. If there's 3 variables, more than likely you'll have 3 equations. You could have 4. You wouldn't need 4, but you could. All right? Solve them, but then make sure, as I was mentioning before, that you write your answers as they're meant to be. Okay? If I ask you how much does it cost for an adult ticket, make sure that's the answer that you give me appropriately. So if it's money, make sure there's a money sign. If it's chairs, make sure it's 2 chairs, whatever it may be. Okay? Make sure you have your labels. So what we're going to do, and I'm sorry, we meant for this to be back-to-back, and somehow it didn't get to be back-to-back. So you just get some extra papers and do some scratch work. That's fine. We're going to go through example 1. Then we're going to go through example 3. And then we'll come back to example 2. Okay? So read through example 1 for me, please. Are these their prices still? No? They went up? Darn it. I think I wrote this maybe last year. Okay. Hello. Okay. So first of all, I'm asking you how many general admission passes did Valis sell during that first hour? Is that the only unknown? Okay, Max, you said no. What's the other unknown? Okay. What variables would you like to use? I hear X and Y, I hear G and A. I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable. Okay. So I'm going to define my variables. G is going to be the number of general admission tickets. Right, general admission. And then A, is it adult, correct? Adventure. Adventure passes, thank you. Okay, don't say A equals adventure passes. A equals the number of adventure passes. Okay. All right, so we have our variables defined. All right, those are our 2 unknowns. Do you agree? All right, so now let's write our equations. Okay, I bet that 1262 is important. I bet these 2 numbers are important, and I bet that number is important. I'm hoping that when you read the problem, you marked some of those things. Okay? All right. So Valis collected $1,262 worth of admission. Let's just work with that. If I write an equation that involves money, there should be money on both sides of the equation. All right? So if we go and say their total number is $1,262, that's dollars. On the other side of the equal sign, it should be dollars. So how much is a general admission ticket? Okay, $18.95. So $18.95 times the number of general admission tickets plus, I didn't give myself enough room, $23.95 times the number of adventure passes. Notice how the left side of my equation involves money and it equals money. Okay, 60 has nothing to do with money. 60, well, that number 60, what is it representing? How many people? Okay, so we need to write an equation that involves how many people. Next. G is the number of general admission, plus A is the number of adventure passes. Together, they should add up to be the total people that have been there. All right. Now we're going to solve this. Okay, you can use substitution. You can use elimination. I'm going to go ahead and let you turn to your neighbor and tell them which one you prefer. Take a vote. Okay, pod 1, what's the majority? Pod 2, what's the majority? Pod 3. Pod 5. Pod 6. Pod 7.
Elimination.
Oh, way to be against the grain. Pod 8. Okay. Why what?
Max, let's get this place. That's difficult.
Elimination?
Elimination is really easy.
All right, so if we're going to use substitution, we can say that, well, G equals 60 minus A. Do you agree? Okay. So then when we go here to 18.95 G plus 23.95 A equals 1262. Yes, you can use a calculator. I hope you figured that out, because this is not something I want you to try. Okay? So make sure you distribute. What is 1895 times 60? We say that louder.
1,137.
Okay. So let's go ahead and combine these together. If I take negative 18.95A plus 23.95A, what is it? 5. Oh, that's so nice. And what happens if we subtract over 1,137? I heard mumbles.
125.
Hey, we don't need a calculator for this. What's A? Maybe we do need a calculator for this.
Yeah, that's what I need.
25. Oh.
25. How many of you went ahead and did elimination without me? How'd it go?
It was so easy.
It's about the same, to be honest. You're doing the same calculations either way. Okay? All right. Which one should we plug back into? The one without the ugly coefficients, right? So if A is 25, G plus A is 60, G is? Okay, let's make sure we're answering the question. All right? We found the number of tickets for each, but the only thing I want to know is how many general admission passes did Vallis sell during that first hour? Vallis sold how many? 35 general admission passes. Sentence.
Do you want us to do that?
I would like that, yeah. Okay? My biggest piece of advice is to group things together. If you have an equation about money, everything should involve money. If you have an equation about like number of people, everything in your equation needs to represent number of people. Okay? If you have an equation about calcium, like grams of calcium, everything in that equation needs to deal with grams of calcium. Okay, I know that sounds weird, but it won't sound weird when you do. Okay. Go to the back page and read through this newspaper article. Turn to your neighbor and tell them what you think the three unknown. Oh, dang it. Okay, I gave it away. There's three unknown variables. Tell your neighbor what they are. All right, Austin, what does Pod 5 think about the unknown variables?
The number of people getting each finishing spot.
Okay, then
number
the-
first, or second,
Okay, so the number of people getting first, the number of people getting second, the number of people getting third. How do you feel about that? Does that make sense? Are those the unknowns?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's define them. So X, number of first place finishers. Y, number of second place finishers. And Z, number of third place finishers. Okay, so as you are going through that reading, I saw people underlining like those numbers, right? Okay. We had 20 individual event placers. We had 20 placers. What do my variables represent? Number of finishers. And how many do we have? So what does that mean? Okay. I'll continue in the sentence. Earning a combined 68 points. Okay, it says first place gets 5 points, second place gets 3 points, and third place gets 1 point. So we have 5 points times each first place, 3 points times each second, 1 point times each third place, for a total of 68 points. Do you see how the coefficients of my variables involve points? And it equals number of points. Everything's consistent through that equation. Okay? Now here's the fun one. We had a strong second place showing with as many second place finishers as first and third place combined. Okay, so this is what I would write first. Our second place finishers were the same as first and third combined, right? Second place is the same as first and third combined. Now, do we typically see it written like that? Like when I give you something to solve, okay? So I would encourage you, if you have something written where the variables are on both sides of the equation, rearrange it, all right? So I would encourage you to rearrange that one to be x minus y plus z equals 0. Like subtract the y over so it equals 0. All right, which variable should we eliminate?
Y.
I think y looks pretty nice, don't you? Because we can take the first and the third, and y's are already opposite. Yeah.
Couldn't we just multiply by -1 and get rid of the x and the z, and then keep the y?
Yes, you're still going to have to do elimination a second time, though, but you could. That would be fine.
Would that be easier?
I think it would be about the same amount of work, but if you want to do it and compare it, I will let you do it. Okay. So we have 2x plus 2z equals 20. Okay. Which two do you want to work with next? Second and third, which means we would have to multiply this guy by 3, right? So we would have 5x plus 3y plus z equals 68. 3x minus 3y plus 3z equals 0. So we have 8x plus 4z equals 68. Right? All right, now who's to say we have to multiply by an integer? Do we have to? No? Okay, can we do something crazy? Here we have these two equations to work with, right? Could I multiply this one by, I don't know, -1/2? Could I do that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nicer numbers? Right? So I could take that first one, 2x plus 2z equals 20. I multiplied that second one by -1/2. So we have -4x minus 2z equals -34. Now I have smaller numbers to work with, which makes me happy, but okay. So our z's cancel out. We have -2x equals -14. Dallas, did you get x equals 7 when you did that?
Well, no, I got the y equals 10.
Oh yeah, y equals 10. That's good.
But I plugged it into the first and third equation. When you plug it into the first equation, it'd be x plus 10 plus z equals 20. So it'd be x plus z equals 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then y equals x plus z, it'd be x plus z equals 10. So I got x plus z equals 10 and x plus z equals 10 multiplied 1 by -1. I got zeros.
Because they're the same.
Because
They're the same equation.
So I just have
Hold
to
on.
use the middle equation, correct?
Shouldn't you have y minus z, or z minus y equals 10 for the third equation? If x is 10, you would have z minus y equals 10.
I had y equals, not x. Right?
Yeah, just,
Yeah, if you get, sorry, if you get y equals 10.
Because here's,
yeah, because you.
Yep, I see. So you get the same.
so
Wait,
I
so
have
you're
to,
gonna
I
have to
have
use
to
the
use the
second.
middle one, correct?
Yeah. Okay, so if x is 7, we can easily find the rest, right? 2x plus 2z equals 20. Z is 3. Okay. And if x plus y plus z is 20, y is 10. Okay? Do not leave your answers like this, though. Okay? Do not leave your answers like this. PLS HS had 7 first place finishers. 10 second place. And 3 third place. That's a little bit more meaning to the algebra that we're working with when we're solving a problem. That's an application. Okay, now number 2 on your notes sheet is actually a homework problem. So we will discuss it for a minute and a half, but then it's okay that we don't get through it because it's actually one of your homework problems. Please read through it. What are our unknowns? Okay, we're talking about adds, right? And so the number of adds would be your unknowns. The number of TV ads, the number of radio ads, the number of newspaper ads. Now, do you know the total number of ads? Okay, so that's going to be one of your equations. You know how much they cost? That's going to be one of your equations. And then you also know they compare some. Where is it? You need to have as many television ads as radio and newspaper ads combined. That would be your third. All right? Please attempt every problem. What you're making. Yeah, you can know you